Beehive, is you down with the beehive? Is you ready to sing this? Ashley Everett, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey guys, I have to shoot a little bit of content in a branded deal today, and I'm about to do my makeup for it. So I figured I would pop on here and answer a couple of these questions that y'all been wanting to know. So share something about my professionalism and profession. If you don't know, I'm a dancer. I've danced with Beyonce since I was 17 years old. But I auditioned when I was 17. What's it called? So I was training at Alvin Ailey. Oh my God, here we go. I moved to New York when I was 16. My parents are in real estate and saw that I had outgrown my home studio and all that. So they were like, girl, we need to get you out of here. We need to get you bigger and better opportunities and stuff. And so they invested in me and sent me and my mom moved to New York. My dad helped set us up, and he moved back with my brother to California. So me and my mom were out in New York while I finished high school. And I was training at Alvin Ailey. I really thought my entire future was about to be modern or contemporary ballet. And Beyonce was rehearsing at Alvin Ailey one day. This is in '06. She was rehearsing to do that performance with the banana skirt when she did Deja Vu. I think it was a VMA performance. It was in New York, and yeah, she was rehearsing for that, and her security was in the hallway and all that, and everybody was talking about it at Alvin Ailey. It was the talk of the town. Beyonce's in town, or Beyonce's rehearsing here, whatever. Security was standing out there, and I happened to be there. I had a class, multiple classes that day. So I was standing around getting ready for my class, which was maybe in the next studio over, and Frank Gatson was outside of the rehearsal room and noticed me and a few other dancers. We were all standing around in our leotard tights and buns, and he was like, hey, you're very pretty, pointed me out and was like, I see you do ballet. Do you do other styles? And I was like, yes, I do everything. As a young dancer who is trained in everything and went to competitions and dance studios to do all different styles. That's a big thing for me, is growing up too, is versatility. So if somebody says, do you do other styles, you're like, yes, I can do anything. What do you want? Hip hop, ballet, tap, jazz, what do you want? I got it. So he invited me in the room, and that was my first time ever meeting her. And it was so crazy. I had never really met another celebrity at that stage in my life, I don't think, at that time. So it was the biggest celebrity I'd ever met, but I didn't even know she was going to be in there. I didn't know he was going to introduce me to her, any of that. So he invited me in the room, introduced me to her, and took my information. Very Hollywood, my first Hollywood industry interaction. And I was like, wow, is this my big break? What's gonna happen, And I never heard from him. Very introduction to LA and Hollywood, Never heard from him. Hang on. Oh my God, hang on. So I never heard from him. And then maybe 2 months later, there was a big audition for her. And it was an open call. People don't do open calls anymore. This was the last time that she even did an open call. This is, I said, in '06, I think. End of '06, yeah, because it was cold. I remember everybody was like, oh, are you guys going to the open call? Beyonce audition, da da da. And I was like, there's no way that this is serious, if it's an open call. I literally was talking myself out of it. I'm like, everyone and their freaking mom is going to be there. Open calls back in the early 2000s, and I want to say they stopped around 2010 or 2010s, but this is in '06, '07. So end of open call era, but it was just chaotic. People who are not dancers are going, your grandma could go because it's open call. They just want to see what they can see. There might be some magic in there. So I went to it. After my mom convinced me, my friends convinced me, other people were going. I was like, okay, I'll go. Went to it, cut in line, and still stood in line for 3 hours. And it was like I said, it was November or something in New York, so it was freezing. But I got in, and once I got in, Frank was running the audition. And this was my moment. Oh, this is my moment to me to like show him what I got, you know? Like I didn't know if he would remember me at all from like that time at Alvin Ailey when he introduced himself to me and her, but I was like, okay, I'm just gonna go in and show him what I got, you know, dance, because he didn't get to see me dance that day. He took my information, but he didn't get to see me dance or do anything. So, one track. So once I get in there, me and my friends finally get in the audition room. He is calling everybody forward, you know, like separating us by like what we look like, you know, different body types, different ethnicities, like very industry. And again, I'm like 17 years old here, like still in high school, just like going with it, going with the flow, you know, and doing my best as always, because that's what I was taught to do. But he recognized me from the day that we met at Alvin Ailey. Crazy. Frank, we've always said, is a witch. He has this talent of like seeing something in people and before they even like know it, like it's like a star quality that he sees in people, and he learns how to bring it out of them, you know? So he recognized me and he was like, "Are you that young lady that I met at Alvin Ailey, the ballerina girl?" And I was like, "Yes, I am." I was in like, now this time I'm in like makeup, obviously, trying to be like presentable. Makeup, I had my hair like in a ponytail. I think I wore it straight actually. It was like a high ponytail, like long. My hair was longer at the time because it was before I was doing all the damage and color and everything. High ponytail, straight, long, dark, and some army pants and like a crop top and some heels. And he recognized me. It is so funny. Oh, sheesh. My bad, y'all. So that was like now his first time getting to see me dance and like really get introduced to who I am as a dancer. And you know how they say like the rest is history? This is definitely like a testament for like timing and preparation aligning with opportunity, because the rest kind of is history. Like after that, he kept me to the end of that audition. Then I want to say maybe a week or two later, I got a call to do some music videos. They were being shot in LA, and I said yes immediately. Obviously, they said I had to work as a local. I was like, I'll figure it out. Actually, no, I think they offered to put me in a hotel. They were shooting a ton of videos, so they were flying some people from New York in and offered to put me in a hotel for like a week. And immediately I was like, yes. Did that, and that's when I shot Green Light and Get Me Body video. And I was on set of the Upgrade You video because Frank like invited me to come watch them shoot that the day before we shot Green Light, because I had never been on a music video set before, so he wanted me to like see and learn. So literally he was like mentoring me and guiding me and like introducing me to everything in the industry early on. And I always say this to everybody who is like next generation or like a mentee of mine and any student I have. This is what I was, and this is what I tell everybody: be a sponge in every room that you go in, you know? So that's what I was doing. I was just being a sponge. I was there to learn and watch and see and do my best, but not like do too much, you know? So those music videos were definitely, I would say, more of an introduction and still audition process for me to see like what, you know, how I am as a worker and dancer and like performer. And after the music videos is when like we got the call to start working on a tour and that was my first tour. That was the Beyonce Experience tour. Wow, I took up 10 full minutes talking about just my audition. So let me know if you guys want a part 2 of this. And I only did contour and eyebrows and blush. So yeah, let me know if y'all want part 2. This was fun. Yeah. All right, guys, picking up where we last left off, how I started working with Beyonce part 2. I'm getting ready to go to a friend's birthday party, so I figured we just pick up the makeup where we last left off. Also, I just finished my blush and my concealer and like contour and all that. But last we left off, I think I finished with my audition process, basically. So like back in, hold on, let me think. So in 2007, when she released the B-Day album, that's when I came out to LA. I shot Green Light, Get Me Body, those 2 music videos. They were basically like still my audition process. And then we flew back to New York. That's where I was living at the time. And I got the call for the tour. This is in 07 again. And I'm a senior in high school. So at like the top of the year, probably like January or February. And, you know, this was also like, it was my first music video, my first artist experience, and now my first like tour and like live shows. And we we were rehearsing in Brooklyn and all that. And this was like my introduction to the industry because y'all, like, I remember there were like people who auditioned, there were people who started rehearsals, and like we would end rehearsal one day, wake up the next day, and new people would be in rehearsal for a tour. So I was like, whoa, this is serious. Like, this is not a game. This is not a game. So like I said, at this time, I'm a senior in high school. I'm like kind of commuting back and forth, like trying to do my school work when I could. I was going to a private school. It's called Professional Children's School. It still exists. Shout out to PCS, because had it not been for that private school of professional children, I would have not been able to start a full-time working job, you know? So my school supported that. I eventually like kind of had to fully pull out of school and go into full-time rehearsal work mode. And then we kicked off tour, I want to say in April, and maybe, no, I think it was sooner than that, probably March. And I remember we started in like Australia. That's when I first met Chris Brown. What up, Chris? We've known each other since we were 17. And then I turned 18 in April. So like in the beginning of my experience, I turned 18 pretty soon, but like I was definitely 17 and still a child and still in high school. I'm still a senior, you know, I haven't graduated yet. But yeah, so the tour was amazing. That was my first one, the Beyonce experience. Like I said, I met Chris Brown. He opened for us. Robin Thicke opened for us. I've known him since then too. Still connected with both of them. Yeah, it was an amazing, amazing experience. And what I think a lot of people don't know is that when, like, before I even booked this, I was auditioning for colleges. So I auditioned for my dream college of Juilliard. If you've ever seen the movie Save the Last Dance, that was like, this is about to be my future. Like, this is going to be me. You know, I'm going to Juilliard. And I got in. I couldn't believe it. I could not believe that I got into my dream college of Juilliard. They only accept 16 freaking dancers, like, throughout the world every year. And I was one of the 16. Couldn't believe it. So now at this point, I was accepted into my dream college and booked a world tour with Beyonce, who I think was considered, this was her first solo world tour. So like kind of the start and beginning of her like solo career and freaking, you know, legacy of a queen. And the whole time I'm on tour, tour was supposed to end like beginning of September. School was supposed to start mid-September or something like that. So like it was honestly like perfect timing to me, in my opinion, as a 18-year-old fresh out of high school, got into her dream college, working a dream job of hers, but didn't know how long this job was going to last or, you know, like employ me. So I'm like, okay, cool. We're going to Juilliard after this. Like that was what I was set on the entire tour. I was like, I'm going to college after this. Like this, I guess, I don't know how long this job is going to last, you know? So fast forward through that entire tour, that tour was like the foundation of like everything for me. It's still like one of my favorite tours. All of those dancers I still love so much. Shout out to everybody on it, everybody who was part of it, the band. Like, I love y'all. Y'all are my family forever. And yeah, it like set the foundation for my Beyonce experience and life to come. But now tour is coming to an end and college is coming around the corner, and tour ends up getting extended by a week, which conflicts with my move-in date for like, you know, the dorms and like all of that. And I'm like, oh my gosh, okay, I have to make a big girl decision. My first like big girl decision, I feel like, when I was 18, you know, like me on my own. My parents were like, do whatever you want. My mentors are like, we support you no matter what, you know, you're going to thrive no matter what. And I'm like, oh, do I do Juilliard? Do I stay on tour for a week? And then what? You know, like what do I do? What do I do? So if you can't guess, I obviously stayed on tour. I was like, okay, this is how I like worked it out in my head as an 18-year-old. I was like, okay, my dream is to be a working dancer, right? I'm doing that now. So maybe not that I don't need, because I also believe in being a student forever and you can always continue to learn, but like not that I don't need to continue to learn, but I am already working now. So let's just ride this out and see where it takes us. So tour went on for another week and I showed my loyalty nice and early on. And what happened after that? I really don't remember. I guess like we wrapped tour. It was amazing. I remember actually like writing Beyonce, and I feel like everybody. I was writing like my best friends on tour. Heather Morris was like my bestie on tour at the time. We were the two youngest. Like all the other guy dancers, like all of us, we were all really close. So like I feel like I wrote letters because that was my first tour. I was like, you guys, I love you. Thank you so much for this experience. Like you changed my life. You know, thank you, Beyonce. Like I don't know if she read it or not. Like I'm just like give it to the assistants, give it to her. You know, like and then go from there. But I kind of don't remember like exactly what happened after the tour. It was like, oh, it's sad, you know, like whatever. And then I stayed in New York. I kept living in New York after that, and starting my career, started working, got signed with an agency. I signed with the agency like when I booked the job. So then the agency, like thankfully, doors were opening after that. I actually think when I wrapped that, that's when I auditioned for the Rockettes. And I did the Rockettes in between the Beyonce experience and in the I Am World Tour. So that's another story. Let me get into that. So I'm working on the Rockettes in 2008. I auditioned for the Rockettes. I booked it. And it's a Christmas, like, holiday gig. So you start around, like, I want to say October, maybe September. Yeah, probably September. And I was still like working with Beyonce on and off. We're doing like music videos. I feel like we were doing commercials and stuff. I definitely did like a L'Oreal commercial after we did the tour in 2007. That L'Oreal commercial helped buy me my car. Shout out to L'Oreal, my first car ever, that little Mercedes Benz. It was a great car. That was when commercials were paying really good too. They don't pay like that anymore, unfortunately. But anyway, so I'm still working on and off with Beyonce. We end up workshopping a music video. This music video ends up being Single Ladies, and I'm a part of the workshop process. I did not know I was going to be a part of the video until right before the video. I was just a guinea pig, essentially. I was workshopping. I was a body for them to see movement, you know. And I was there. It was me, Frank, Jaquel, Beyonce, and a few other dancers and choreographers coming in and out too, I want to say. But yeah, I was a part of the 3-4 week Single Ladies creative process. And we had auditions for dancers and everything. And I thought they were going to book shorter dancers and she was going to be like the taller one. And then they liked like us being the same height, but they were like, okay, well, we need somebody else. That's when Ebony came in. Shout out to Ebony, my other like technique, Cedar Lake girly. She came from Cedar Lake, the contemporary company. And she ended up doing Single Ladies with us. Okay, so to connect those two dots, Single Ladies shot, and I literally, as I was rehearsing for Single Ladies, I had to like call in sick for the Rockettes, and no one ever does that. And if the Rockettes see this, I am so sorry, you guys. I've told this story many times. I'm sure you've maybe heard it now a time or two, but I had to do what I had to do that Single Ladies video. So I'll start with that in part 3, y'all. All right, we're picking up part 3, how I started working with Beyonce. We just left off with, I was rehearsing for the Single Ladies video, and I also was booked to start the Rockettes. But the Single Ladies video was conflicting. The shoot date was conflicting with the beginning of rehearsals of Rockettes. And I did not want to miss out on this Single Ladies opportunity. I had been workshopping it for like the last 3 weeks. I ended up getting booked for it, and they're like, okay, we're going to go with all you guys like the same height, tall girls, boom, 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 technical girls, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yes, this is my chance. I didn't know that this video was going to be like as massive as it was, obviously. I just wanted to be a part of it because I had been working on it, and I just felt like I was involved, you know? So I wanted to do it, and they were willing to help work with me to make sure I did it. Shout out to Beyonce, she's such a real one, and Frank, because Frank got his doctor friend to write me a doctor note, you guys, so I could, I feel crazy kind of telling this story, I feel like it's a crime, but, so I could call in sick for the Rockettes, because Rockettes are so strict and serious. They will not let you like be double booked. Like, oh, hey, I'm on another gig. Can I just come in 2 days later? No, you can't. Like, you're fired, you know? So B and Frank helped me like play sick. Literally, like I'd get calls and I'd have to like run out and be like, I'm feeling a little better. Da, da, da. And again, I am so sorry to the Rockettes. I really apologize. And like, I'm just so sorry that I lied, but you guys forgave me and let me come in, and I did my job still. It was fine. Everything worked out. It was smooth. I loved doing the Rockettes. It was like one of my favorite jobs. I feel like that is a huge reason why it played a huge role into like my dance captain legacy too, because of all the precision dancing and like being on top of it. So like Rockettes like turned me into the dancer I am today as well. But yeah, I shot the Single Ladies music video, you guys. It was like a 22-hour shoot day or something, and literally B and them got me a car, and I drove straight from set at like 4 a.m. overnight to wherever Rockettes was rehearsing, somewhere like upstate New York or Pennsylvania or something like that, and went straight into rehearsal like 9 a.m. the next day. And I looked like I was definitely sick because I was unwell. I had not slept for who knows how long and had been rehearsing like a crazy maniac, you know, like, yeah. And just got off this set of Single Ladies. And if you watch any of the BTS of Single Ladies, that shoot was rough. Like, it was tough. We were on concrete. We were slipping and sliding. Every single one of us fell at some point. So, like, it was rough. And we were in heels the whole time and leotards, and our hair was trying to stay straight, and we were sweating. It was a full-on dance music video. So, yeah, it was a lot of work. And then I went straight to Rocket rehearsal 9 a.m. the next morning, like, as a 19-year-old hustler, dance hustler. So that's why I always say, too, like, you gotta love this. You really gotta love this. And you gotta be willing to sacrifice things. And you gotta be willing to like risk things. Take risks, I'll say. Take risks in order to get to the places you wanna be and in the rooms that you wanna be in, and make the jobs happen for yourself, for real. So I go on to do the 2008 Christmas season of the Rockettes. It's the first tour that they have. So I guess tour is just, you know, like my MO now. Went on a tour with the Rockettes. It was amazing. It was insane. One of the hardest jobs I've ever done. We were doing up to 4 shows a day, kicking, precision dancing. The first time I also was ever told to dance like everyone else. We had to like all look exactly the same. They'd be like, Ashley, stop sitting in your hips so much, because I had just come off tour with Beyonce. So they're like, she's a little funky. We need her to like tighten up, you know? So yeah, it was a huge like learning curve for me, and not even really a learning curve, just like a good like stepping stone, milestone, and like, yeah, just job in general. I wrap up the Rockettes tour top of 2009, and that's when Beyonce is getting ready to go on tour again with the I Am World Tour, because she released the I Am Sasha Fierce album. And while I was on tour with the Rockettes, the Single Ladies video comes out. Oh, I forgot about all that detail too. Single Ladies video comes out while I'm on tour with the Rockettes, and everybody's like, is that you, girl? I'm like, oh yeah, that is me. Oh my God, like, look, yeah, so amazing, cool. We shot that a while ago, y'all. Like, oh yeah, way before like these rehearsals, you know, like whatever. Tried to like sweep over that real quick, because people were like, when did you do that? That is so crazy. That's so good. Like, whatever. I remember Kelty Knight asking me specifically, and I was like, girl, stay on my business. And now she's like on Access Hollywood and stuff. It's so funny. But yeah, we used to do Rockettes together. Shout out to Kelty too. Yeah, so, and while I'm on tour with the Rockettes too, like, if I would get like 2 days off, y'all, God was on my side for real, like, and working in my favor, because the Single Ladies video came out, and B was doing promo. This is when she used to do promo shows, you know, she would promote the songs, the videos, you know, she was promoting it all. So I remember flying in from wherever I was on tour with the Rockettes to do like Ellen or something. It was Ellen or like the Tyra show or one of those talk shows. I flew in and did Single Ladies with B, and I think Ebony did that one. If it wasn't Ebony, it might have been Heather Morris. But yeah, flew in and was double gigging still while on tour with the Rockettes to, you know, stay involved in the B camp and with Single Ladies World, and also promote my damn self because I was in the video too. So once the Rockettes tour wraps up, hold on, I feel like I should do this off camera. So once that Rockette tour wraps up, B Camp calls me after, you know, all the Single Ladies promo. I feel like at some point we shoot Sweet Dreams and Ego, and those drop too. And then now it's 2009, and she's getting ready to go on tour again. And they say, we want you. And I'm like, woo, yay, another one. And now when it comes down to like casting and like what other dancers are coming in, like there's auditions being held and I'm at the auditions too, dancing with them, kind of helping, kind of, you know, involved, but am I booked? Like, what's happening? You know? But yeah, I mean, I guess I knew I was booked because they were like, we want you, but I didn't know like what extent that meant. So then I don't even remember exactly when, but at some point, that's how I became dance captain in 2009. I was returning for the tour. My dance captain in 2007, my first tour, was Milan Dillard. Shout out to her. She's great. She's amazing. She taught me a lot. And then cut to 2009, I'm the only returning dancer, and it's all new dancers from, you know, the last tour. So I get promoted to dance captain. And mind you, Single Ladies just came out. I'm also in the Sweet Dreams video, the Ego video, like from that album. So yeah. And that's when Kimmy G came around and she became my co-captain as that tour went on. Okay, I feel like that's a good place to kind of stop. I need to go and focus, but I will pick back up when I have some more time, guys. Let me know what you're thinking. If you have questions too, I would love to just answer specific questions because I'm like, what? There's so many details that are like flying through my brain. I'm like, which ones do I tell, you know? So yeah, let me know what you're thinking so far and we'll pick back up on part 4 at some point.